stakeholders are converged to fashion out a post-2022 biodiversity framework to save nature from destruction. Onangie Fanface has the story.
As the world meets in Canada to formulate a framework to conserve biodiversity, halt wildlife loss, and protect natural ecosystems, the United Nations insists on inclusive action that recognizes human rights, addresses economic drivers of negative habits, utilizes indigenous knowledge, and supports vulnerable groups.
We need much greater clarity around how wealth resulting from rapid advances in genetic sequencing technologies and commercial applications will be shared equitably. Indigenous people and local communities must benefit from the advances based on plants and animals harvested from their territories.
You bear the weight of finding solutions to protect ecosystems, species, as well as our land and water. Use biodiversity sustainably, share benefits equally, increase financial flows, protect traditional knowledge, find financial mechanism, monitor it all, and more.
Minister of Environment Mohammed Abdullahi says Nigeria continues to walk the talk, but demands financial commitments from developed countries to address biodiversity loss.
African nations have created over 2 million square kilometers of areas that are protected, which is an indication of our joint commitment to the preservation of Africa's rich biodiversity. I wish to reiterate the readiness of the government of Nigeria to implement decisions that will be adopted at this meeting. We are leading the way with our sister ECOWAS nations. Our appeal for an ambitious global response to biodiversity crisis is urgent and focused.
Experts expect the conference to address sharing of genetic sequencing data for equitable access to related benefits. Onengiye Fineface, NTA News.
Now, at the U.S.-Africa Business Forum in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday this week, the federal government and U.S. firm Sun Africa LLC, the largest U.S. renewable energy company operating in Africa, signed a development and engineering, procurement and construction EPC implementation framework agreements for the construction of 5,000 megawatts of solar generation and 2,500 megawatts of battery energy storage power plants for up to $10 billion investment from the U.S. government. The agreement was signed by Otumba Adeniyi, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, and Adam Curtis, CEO of Sun Africa, in the presence of Amos Hochstein, President Joe Biden's Special Presidential Coordinator for the Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment. In his address on Tuesday, December 13th, President Muhammadu Buhari had said, as part of the National Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency Policy, we set the Vision 30-30-30, which aims at achieving 30 gigawatts of electricity by 2030, with renewable energy contributing 30% of the energy mix. In the presence of President Biden and the world leaders, and where he sought the United Nations support to achieve it. Meanwhile, President Buhari Thursday in Washington, D.C. warns that Africa risks not attaining the goals continental leaders have set for the region by 2063 in view of challenges facing it. He, however, believes that they can be achieved if there is a unity of purpose among all member states. Speaking at the ongoing U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit on the topic, Partnering on Agenda 2063, a peaceful and secure Africa in the U.S. Capitol, President Buhari declares, Africa's security and development landscape has undergone significant transformation over the past decades. The continent has witnessed increased, diverse and complex threats, including climate change, the scourge of terrorism, violent extremism, transnational organized crimes, ideological radicalization, and recently an upsurge in unconstitutional change of governments. He added that it is clearly evident that these developments negatively impact national, regional, silencing the tactical team arresting the with the command's tactical team arresting the commander of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, in the state. Joma Peter Wante reports that a stolen Toyota Sienna bus was recovered from the hoodlums who engaged the team in a gun duel at Obiagu, Ishielu local government area of the state. Now, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Muhammad Yakubu, has suggested the classification of infrastructure of the commission as high-security facility for maximum protection at an investigative hearing convened by the House of Representatives to unravel the immediate and remote causes of attacks on INEC facilities across the country. The chairman said INEC has recorded 50 attacks in 15 states from 2019 to 2022. He pointed out that the attacks, if not contained, could make it difficult for INEC to recover in good time ahead of the general election coming 70 days from now. The investigative hearing is sequel to a resolution of the House on 30th November, during which lawmakers condemned the attacks, describing them as attempts targeted at scuttling the election and derailing Nigeria's democracy. Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission has reiterated that there is no going back on the deployment of bimodal voter accreditation system in next year's general elections, as they are poised to conduct a free, fair and credible and conflict-sensitive reporting and 2023 general election for journalists in Lafia, Nasarawa State. Replong Domto reports.
The Commission is interfacing with the Nigeria Union of Journalists to rub minds and chart the way forward towards a credible pool, as the media has a critical role to play as the watchdog of the society. Hinted journalists on the latest innovations of INEC for authentication, accreditation and transmission of election results.
So the media must join this fray that is cruising towards free, fair and transparent election.
The Commission charged journalists to acquaint themselves with the new Electoral Act 2022 to guide them as a manual before, during and after the election.
On our own part, we promise that we will partner with NUJ to ensure that we have credible outing.
NUJ President Mr. Chris Isiguzo, represented by the NUJ National Treasurer Mr. Dele Atumbi, said the workshop is apt considering the critical role the media plays in the society.
We are conscious of our professional responsibility to gather, collate, process and disseminate news.
The training had journalists from different media houses in Nasarawa State and is expected to hold in all the states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. In Lafia, Replong Domtu, NTA News.
Now, the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has congratulated President Muhammadu Buhari on the occasion of his 80th birthday. In a statement by the Special Advisor to the President of the Senate on Media and Publicity, Ola Wuni, Senator Lawan joins Nigerians and Buhari's admirers across the world in rejoicing with his family for reaching this milestone in good health, noting that as he approaches the end of his tenure on 29th May 2023, he can be rest assured that millions of Nigerians across the country genuinely appreciate his achievements in nation building. Similarly, the All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has sent his special congratulatory message to President Muhammadu Buhari on the occasion of his 80th birthday. In a statement by his media office signed by Mr. Tunde Rahman, Tinubu hailed the president for his commitments to nation building and long years of patriotic service to the country. The APC presidential candidate, who describes President Buhari as a patriot, selfless and steadfast leader of uncommon zeal, notes that Buhari enlisted himself into the service of the country as a teenager who joined the military immediately after secondary school And at 80, President Buhari can look back and be proud of his unblemished record of service to the nation throughout his military career as a soldier, platoon commander, general officer commanding, military governor, minister of petroleum resources, head of state, chairman of Petroleum Trust Fund, and as the current leader of the country. Time now for some messages, after which we join Adiola in Lagos for continuation of Nationwide.
The people they shout. We want all our country people they talk with one voice. Them say Asiwaju Bola Tinubu them want as president of Nigeria for this president election.
Asiwaju Bola Tinubu na the man wey we all know and see all the good work in dey do for the country, especially when he be governor of Lagos State.
Now when God use turn Lagos to the best state for Nigeria.
Today, many people all over Nigeria they like to go Lagos, go settle down for business and better life.
Because of the good work when Bola Tinubu do.
People of Nigeria, as Asiwaju do for Lagos, na so him ready to do am for the whole country.
Vote Asiwaju Bola Tinubu for president of Nigeria. Vote Kashim Shettima as vice president. Vote APC, the party wey get broom.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), in collaboration with the National Broadcast Commission (NBC), Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC), Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria (ACON), and the Nigerian Police Force is hosting a stakeholders summit on political campaign financing and vote buying as we approach the 2023 general elections. Those invited to attend are the chairman of all political parties, candidates in the 2023 general elections, chief executive officers of broadcast stations, and 10 a.m. prompt. Speakers at the summit are Chairman INEC, DG NBC, Executive Chairman EFCC, Chairman ICPC, DG ACON, and the Inspector General of Police. Baladele Shehu Ilela, Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, announcer.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dssPR@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Rather than continue with the trend of underutilizing local capacity in engineering, government must come up with the right framework that will see to the development of such capacity in order for Nigeria to bridge gaps in existing and emerging technologies. This, along with the need for Nigeria to enter into strategic partnership with other countries for joint manufacturing, are some of the consensus among speakers at a public forum organized by the Nigerian Academy of Engineers in Lagos. Adeniyi Taiwo report.
Industrial manufacturing is said to be the engine of growth, which is reflected in the nation's GDP. This assertion draws credence from the 2021 ranking by the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, which puts Nigeria at 184th position in Production Capacity Index. As the leading think tank in the advancement of science, engineering and technology, the Nigerian Academy of Engineering is worried about these indices. This public forum is therefore to position engineering as the missing link in efforts to solve the nation's development challenges, while setting agenda for the next administration in the area of funding, promotion of domestic capacity, and adoption of data and knowledge-driven solutions.
The whole idea of local content has been on, but we want to even push it further beyond oil and gas to all the other sectors of the economy, so that Nigerians can have the opportunity to be good players in the economic sector.
From the lead paper presented by the Senior Special Advisor on Industrialization to the President of the African Development Bank, Professor Banji Oyinka, to the one on flood mitigation by former President of Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, Kashim Ali, the forum not only reviewed the potential in Nigeria's engineering space, but also raised posers of where Nigeria is in future engineering.
What we should do is to promote the advancement for engineers here, their children and those who are coming after, to be able to form companies and do business.
So if you have a drainage system that is well constructed and is looking beautiful, even people will want to keep it clean. But it's when there is none, then they now find that, oh, they are abandoned, so they drop whatever they do. This will go with education on how to use these facilities also.
Issues of funding for research and development, system coordination, and development of local capacity are some of the concerns presented before the political class.
We have enough students to talk in and come with solutions that attract education.
The theme of the forum is engineering as the key facilitator of national development policies and strategies for the incoming administration. In Lagos, Adeniyi Taiwo, NTA News.
The Nigerian Navy's avowed commitment to ensure improved productivity, efficiency and effectiveness of its officers and ratings in the discharge of their responsibilities on board naval fleets is yielding results, with the graduation of 18 ratings at the Naval Dockyard Apprentice School, Lagos. A total of 18 students graduated after completing 4 months of intensive training in plumbing and pipe fitting and electronics and electrical control motor rewinding. The Chief of Naval Staff represented said the graduation marks another milestone in the advancement of technical training in the Nigerian Navy and an important landmark for the graduates' career progression.
The federal government, through the support of the President and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, is pleased with what he's saying here. So the yard has been tasked to build 2, and I can tell you the product of this school, both the first set that passed and this one, they are all going to be part of that project.
Some of the graduates speak on the gains of the training.
I will use the knowledge that I learned and put it into practice, put it into my service, and I believe with the things that I've learned here, the Navy will move forward.
We came with little or no knowledge of pipe fitting and plumbing, but after the 4 months, I can tell you that we are above average.
And for completing the past basic apprentice course 2, certificates were presented to all the graduates, while the best graduating ratings were also recognized for their outstanding performance. The Dockyard Apprentice School was established in 1985. Policy issues led to its closure in 1993. The school was later recommissioned after undergoing renovation in 2019. And this is the second set of graduates since its reopening. And that's a contribution from Lagos. Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on the screen for updates. Lami Ali is waiting for the continuation of the news in Abuja. Hello, back to you, Lami.
Thank you so much, Deola. Now, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has inaugurated an 11-member board of trustees of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Courageous, calling on them to address the nation's challenges. Jide Unifade has the story.
It is my pleasure to formally inaugurate the Board of Trustees of NIPS for the benefit of the people of Nigeria and to the glory of the Almighty God.
Members of the Board of Trustees are the Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Saad Abubakar III, the Olu of Wari Ogemi Atuashe III, and the Gwangwon Jos, Jacob Buba, as well as the Oba of Lagos, Rilwan Akiolu, who was absent at the inauguration ceremony. Others include Professor Adeolu Akante, Julius Adelusi Adeluyi, Kalu Idika Kalu, Mark Wabara, Yusuf Ali, SAN, Professor Hilary Inyang, and Sarah Jibril.
You should not be constrained by resources, given the enormity of the task that the institution has, which is why I think that the role of the Board of Trustees is so well cut out for it. We expect that the Board of Trustees, aside from everything else, will lead in looking for the resources that will put NIPS in a position to be able to face the challenges of the future. And those resources are mainly financial resources. With financial resources, NIPS can not just do its own research, but collaborate with think tanks all over the world.
We're going to be, inshallah, beside raising funds, which is the most critical. You cannot do anything with our funds. And like the video rightly said, we cannot leave everything to government. We want government to rest and use the funds for other problems that are very close to the common man, while we too will do our own and provide solutions to those in authority to make this country a better country.
The Vice President also inaugurated the Institute's members of Academic Advisory Committee. The committee comprises 7 distinguished Nigerians, and it is chaired by former Nigeria Ambassador to Switzerland and former Permanent Secretary, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Martins Ruhomoibi. The Director General of the institution, Professor Ayo Omotayo, led other management staff to the inauguration ceremony, which took place at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. Jide Unifade, NTA News.
We move to Imo, where the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodinma, has inaugurated the APC Southeast Presidential Campaign Council in Owerri, Imo State. Beatrice Anyam reports that the governor tasked members of the campaign council on teamwork for the party.
Members of the All Progressives Congress APC Southeast Presidential Campaign Council are drawn from the 5 Southeast states. Governor Hope Uzodinma, while tasking them on grassroots campaign for all candidates of the party, describes the presidential candidate Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu as the right candidate with capacity to take Nigeria to the next level. He further charges them to explore other strategies and marketing achievements of the party so far for positive impact.
He worked for the political class. He worked for the masses. And for us to work for him.
The APC presidential candidate, represented by the Secretary, APC Campaign Council, James Faleki, and other party stalwarts, advised the council to be good ambassadors of the party in their various states.
It's left for all of us to join Governor Hope to deliver. It's not a question of us telling him this and that, and then you go home and do something else. We work as a team with all of you. We believe in Nigeria. We will do Nigeria and deliver service. We need continuity.
So we are set up to go and work. It's no tea party we accept. We are not going to play about it.
The governor also used the occasion to present campaign vehicles to each of the 27 local government areas of Imo State. This is NTA.
Now, in a bid to resolve all lingering issues among members, the Labour Party has constituted an 11-man committee to bring lasting peace to the party. Spokesman of the Presidential Campaign Council, Yunusa Tonko, said rather than constitute disciplinary committee to look into the Ogun State issue, the party has decided to set up a security, peace and conflict resolution committee to holistically resolve all grievances and mischief fueling crisis within the party.
And the fastest growing political party in Africa. And as such, minor internal conflict and misunderstandings such as witnessed in the recent past cannot be ruled out. The purpose of this committee, therefore, is to ensure that peaceful resolution of all the grievances and further strengthening, promote the unity of our great party towards achieving the goal and task ahead of us come 2023.
The committee is to be chaired by Friday Toyin Ibadan with Kenneth Yoke as secretary. To further alleviate poverty and ensure equitable distribution of resources, Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun has signed an executive order establishing social investment programs in the state. Lekon Agbondi reports.
Signing the documents, Governor Dapo Abiodun says the gesture focuses on bringing succor to the poor, widows, and vulnerable members of the society to help improve the socio-economic conditions of the citizens of the state at the grassroots. He added that the program is of particular importance in view of the economic recession world over and particularly the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. The governor, however, emphasized his administration's resolve to domesticate the program, which had been done by the federal government through the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, noting that a committee to be chaired by a reputable indigene of the state with high integrity and relevant experience, and members with representatives from the Ministry of Finance, Community Development and Cooperatives, Youth and Sports, Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Women Affairs and Special Duties would administer the program.
To identify and stimulate the beneficiaries of the social investment program, to set guidelines and modalities for the effective execution of the social investment program, to promote public awareness of this program, to carry out other functions and engage relevant personnel as may be necessary to implement the social investment program. This committee reports to the office of the governor.
The governor, however, says his administration is committed to ensuring that life is better for all and sundry. In Abuja, Lekon Agbondi, NTA News.
Now, Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has promised to run an inclusive, open and transparent government that will bring needed developments to the state. The governor stated this when he met with Osun State Traditional Council in Osogbo, the state capital. Femi Afarogun completes the story.
Others, to all irrespective of political or religious ideology, their expression saying the governor in their midst was satisfying, a feat that has not happened in recent time in the state.
Inherited 8 outstanding loan facilities.
Governor Adeleke updated the Traditional Council about the financial status of Osun with a debt profile of 331 billion naira apart from arrears of salaries and pension. The governor assured the monarchs that the poor financial status would not deter him from keeping his campaign promises.
This event is postman of my pledge to Osun people to be transparent and run an open government. As I'm talking to you, I have a blueprint of my 100 days. It has begun in earnest.
The chairman of Osun State Traditional Council, Oni of Ife, Oba Enito Oguwusi Adeyeye, believed the visit has given birth to a robust collaboration between the Crown and the government.
We had a very positive meeting and it started well. We were very happy because he actually brought it to us. And we, the traditional rulers, we know what to do to actually cushion the effect of this and let them focus on governance. That is very critical. That is what we need in the state right now.
The council proposed a quarterly meeting with the governor going forward. In Osogbo, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
7,000 Nigerian youths drawn from the 6 geopolitical zones have been trained on soft skills and equipped with starter packs. Kelvin Samuel reports that the federal government has also approved 10,000 naira monthly stipend to all the beneficiaries for the period of 9 months.
On assumption of office in 2015, President Muhammadu Buhari promised to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty before the end of his administration. Little did TMA Odimegwu, Franklin, a physically challenged man, and others in similar conditions knew that they would be beneficiaries. Having been trained in coding, graphic digital marketing and web designing, the visibly elated beneficiaries recall where they were before this intervention.
Before now, I'm not doing anything. We learned many things that can change my life.
I was looking forward to be employed, but to God be the glory. This opportunity has come to me and I've learned so much. It has brought so much changes to me.
Kudos to President Muhammadu Buhari and the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management. I have been able to be trained as a graphic designer and an animator.
Back at home, I'm into hairdressing, but coming here to learn online things and software.
Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, represented, encouraged beneficiaries to make the best of government investment in their lives, noting that the federal government is fully committed to the welfare of its citizens.
Having completed the income training will be attached directly to a labor institution for 6 months apprentice. This attachment would enable you to have workplace experience.
In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
We join Amina in Kaduna to lead us with more stories on Nationwide. Hello, Amina.
In Uyo, Kevin Samuel.
Welcome to Kaduna Network Center. Collection of permanent voter cards in Jigawa State has witnessed appreciable turnout for those who registered. Awal Kazauri reports.
Distribution of the PVCs have started to the 22nd of January 2023. NTA News spoke to some electorates who have come to collect their permanent voters card, who are full of gratitude to INEC.
Who have get a problem with their card. So that is why I came to the headquarters of my local government, that is Dutse, the capital of Jigawa State, to collect my own PVC today.
The resident electoral commissioner, Professor Muhammad Lawal Bashar, said distribution has recorded a huge success. Looking forward to the accomplishment of the exercise.
It will be very difficult this time around to be able to buy votes. It is this body that sets up the framework and the guidelines on how to prevent these unscrupulous practices.
The permanent voters card distribution will continue to 22nd January 2023 and from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. including Saturdays and Sundays. Awal Muhammad Kazauri, NTA News.
Community participation in addressing dwindling fortunes. Education has been identified as a compelling strategy, vitalizing the sector for national development. This is what dominated discussions at the 20th anniversary of Kachia Educational Development Association in Kaduna State. Slema Rugachkum has more.
Over the years, various communities have been playing complementary role in education to assist government in reviving the sector. Areas of intervention involved scholarship award, provision of infrastructure and teaching materials. Such intervention has been making appreciable impact in the society. It was against this background, Kachia Educational Development Association met and takes stock of contributions to the growth of the sector in the area for the past 20 years.
We've produced 398 first degree holders. We've equally produced 62 masters, 5 PhDs, and 3 professors. There are still rooms, so we have to double our efforts to make sure that at least every single house in Kachia has a graduate.
Speakers applauded the association for bringing education in their locality to appreciable level.
Looking back at what they have done for the past 20 years, the number of graduates they have produced, including some professors, is actually a laudable program.
They urge other communities in Kaduna State to emulate Kachia Educational Development Association to bail education from its present predicament. Suleiman Rigachkun, NTA News.
And that's it from here. We now take our second break. Nationwide continues in Sokoto.
People of Nigeria don't talk. Them say na Asiwaju Bola Tinubu they want as president of Nigeria. Our country people get many reasons wey make them all agree say na Asiwaju Bola Tinubu them choose for this president election. Yes, so Bola Tinubu na man wey sabi anything wey him put in hand, he dey work wella. He do better work for Lagos State when he be governor. Till today, Lagos people still dey enjoy from all the better things wey Jaburata for Lagos. People of Nigeria, e good to make we vote for who sabi. As it can be so, make we all come out for election day and vote Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president of Nigeria. Vote Senator Kashim Shettima as vice president. Vote APC, the party with the broom. Who be the president we go go?
They swore an oath to serve our fatherland and defend the people. They traded their freedom, comfortable homes, and mortgaged their lives on the battleground for our unity and peaceful living. These are the great, fearless, loyal, and committed Nigerian armed forces who risked their lives courageously to safeguard our borders. But in the line of duty, many never returned. Nigerians, arise, let's celebrate our fallen heroes. Put on the remembrance emblem with pride to support the incapacitated and families of our fallen heroes.
The occasion gives cause for reflection and remind us of the sacrifice made by our armed forces in preserving the unity of the country.
All ministries, parastatals, religious and corporate bodies to donate generously to the Emblem Appeal Launch. Send your donations to this account. Account name, Emblem Appeal Launch. Account number 393-200-7526. EcoBank Nigeria PLC.
This is the moment we've been waiting. It's time to rise up, do it again. Africa, do your dance now. God, do your winning dance now. So we never lose it again. Africa, rise up. Yes, we gon' rise up. Africa, rise up. Africa, rise up. Yes, we gon' rise up. Africa, rise up.
Have you joined us in Sokoto?
Acting Director General of National Youth Service Corps, Mrs. Chris Uba, has urged corps members to initiate impactful community projects and avoid areas facing security challenges. She made the call while addressing the 2002 batch C-Stream 2 corps members at the NYC Orientation Camp, Wamako local government area in Sokoto State. Belat Abdullahi completes the story.
The Acting Director General of National Youth Service Corps, Mrs. Christy Uba, met the corps members at the NYSC Orientation Camp, Wamako. She urged the corps members to initiate viable projects that would impact positively on the lives of their host community during the service year. The Acting DG further advised corps members to always follow available channels of communication in the scheme to address issues. On the 2023 general elections, the Acting Director General called on the corps members who may participate to take advantage of the elections sensitization programs and training to get knowledge. She urged them to be neutral, non-political, patriotic, and not to compromise, and to do the right things during the elections. Uba appealed to politicians to protect the corps members and put them first before their personal interests.
Get to their host community, accept the people there, and impact in their community, so that at the end of their service here, the people will appreciate them.
Coordinator of the NYSC in Sokoto State, Mr. Muhammad Nakamba, commended NYSC members toward the general orientation courses. He said all CAM officials and collaborating bodies were doing well in the discharge of their duties. He urged corps members to pay attention to skills acquisition and empowerment development. In Sokoto, Belat Abdullahi, NTA News.
Sokoto State Police Command has arrested some suspects in connection with kidnapping, criminal conspiracy, armed robbery, and political thuggery in the state. They were paraded before newsmen at the command headquarters in Sokoto. Belat Abdullahi again reports.
Parading the suspects, Commissioner of Police Muhammad Hussein Gumel said the police special patrol team, in conjunction with anti-kidnapping agents, arrested Abdullahi Bello in Gwadabawa local government for committing criminal activities with his gang members. He added that one AK-47 and 3 rounds of ammunition were recovered from the suspect, though other members of the gang ran away. The commissioner also said the command has recovered 3 vehicles stolen at different locations in the state, and the suspects connected with the crime were arrested. Also arrested were 2 persons for kidnapping a 7-year-old boy in Sokoto metropolis and some political thugs.
The current socio-economic activities across the Sokoto state are thriving as a result of regular police raid of crime-prone location and other crime prevention measures adopted.
In another development, Commissioner of Police Muhammad Hussein Gumel has warned public against violating electoral laws. In a statement, the Commissioner urged people not to violate any of the 11 major electoral laws contained in the Electoral Act 2022 as amended. These offences are voting by unregistered persons, secrecy in voting, vote buying, undue influence, and snatching or destruction of election materials. Others include impersonating electoral officials, disorderliness at polling units, unlawful possession of ballot papers, among others. The Commissioner said the command will deal with violators in accordance with the provisions of the Electoral Act, the Constitution, and other extant laws. In Sokoto, Talhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And that's it from Sokoto for now. Nationwide continues with Lani in Abuja.
Thank you, Sadia. It is 69 days to the general election, and the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) in Edo State has received additional 39 cartons of PVCs. This, officials say, will bring an end to the issue of unprinted PVCs. Paul Omukagu has the details.
The resident electoral commissioner, Obo Epanga, briefed reporters on the latest development.
We received another tranche. We believe that's the last tranche of the cards for Edo State. I'm sure you've been shown where the cards are kept in the store there. We'll take a few days to sort them, local government by local government, count to know the exact number, and then get them across to the local government areas. So I imagine that latest by Wednesday, those cards would be available for people to pick up.
In the meantime, INEC Edo State's daily update on the collection of PVCs as at December 15, 2022 indicates that Akoko Edo has 50, Ego 214, ESA Central 140, ESA Northeast 187, ESA Southeast 68, ESA West 72, ESACO Central 62, ESACO East 56, ESACO West 255, Iguebe 47, and others, totaling 2,670.
The electoral officers in the local government areas understand their terrain, and they also work with other staff that they are assigned electoral officers, and there are also officers who take charge of the various wards there, so they know what to do, how to communicate.
The collection is ongoing in every local government area office of INEC from 9 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon every day, including weekends till the 22nd of January 2023. Edo State has over 2.5 million registered voters expected to participate at the 2023 general elections. In Benin, Paulo Mukago, NTA News.
150 gender-based violence survivors have received training in small business management skills in a move to boost their resilience and make them productive as activities to mark this year's 16 days of activism ends in Yobe State. The intervention follows the rise in GBV cases in areas affected by years of insurgency. Mustafa Yusuf Musa reports.
Wakil, not her real name, a 15-year-old deaf and visually impaired, is a GBV survivor whose physical and mental vulnerability was exploited by a relative, resulting in pregnancy and only being catered for by her aged mother. The victim is among the 150 GBV survivors identified through data collected by the Muslim Sisters Organization of Nigeria. Out of the number, 53 were trained in small-scale business management skills, a pilot initiative designed to empower them and reduce the trauma they have been passing through.
We provide taking of grant for them so that they will have a revolving fund which will alleviate their poverty and prevent them from being vulnerable for GBV.
The Muslim Sisters Organization of Nigeria Yobe State Chapter has in the last 3 years been in the front burner in the fight against gender-based violence through enhanced synergy with the UN Women and other development partners. In Damaturu, Mustafa Yusuf, NTA.
There is an urgent need to bridge the gender gap in Nigeria's political space by encouraging women's equitable participation in politics and governance. This was the crux of the liberation at the instance of wife of Ondo State Governor Betty Akeredolu in Akure, Ondo State capital. Trey Batiri has the story.
The extant national gender policy, which became operational in 2008, recommends 35% affirmative action for women. Yet, the national average of women's political participation still stands at 6%. Consequently, this fourth FOSO summit converged women to network and share ideas on the way out of the marginalization, as well as elevate the socio-economic status of women. Various speakers emphasized that women are capable partners and indispensable tools in a nation's move for sustainable development. Hence, a level playing ground must
to advance the cause of women and the girl child in Ondo State.
The forum also noted that women should change their disposition towards themselves by being supportive. In Akure, Tony Batire, NTA News.
Nigeria has begun harnessing the potentials of its indigenous plants with the commencement of a diploma program in complementary and alternative medicine at the University of Abuja. Selwa Khalil Ibrahim reports on the maiden national conference on complementary and alternative medicine.
From time immemorial, man survived on herbal medicine. Modern science, however, brought about research of conventional medicine. Notwithstanding the challenges, alternative and complementary medicine have continued to resonate.
That is the only way we can stem this health tourism, where people will be going to India even when they are coughing. We have people and we have the remedies, we have the resources here that can enable us to compete with the best in the world.
University of Abuja is now the first tertiary institution in Nigeria to introduce diploma in complementary and alternative medicine under the Institute of Natural Medicine.
The production of these people, bringing them up to qualify with the skill and expertise taught to them, they can take over the job and we would have contributed to the universal health coverage. The government needs to support this very well through our institutions, through the TMPs themselves. The private sector need to also support very, very well because government cannot do it alone. And individuals, we must wake up and take up the challenge. I am confident if a greater discovery in the complementary and alternative medicine.
At this conference, scientists are breaking the ground in utilizing Africa's biodiversity to solve its health.
G2-0 in a friendly in Abuja. The Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations is scheduled for February 18 to March 12, 2023. In another development, Habu Gumel has reassured on an inclusive tenure among the Olympic family in the country. Gumel gave the reassurance shortly after his re-election as president of the Nigeria Olympic Committee at the elective congress in Jalingo, Taraba State.
Let me emphasize that these elections were not meant to divide the Olympic family, but rather to strengthen our democratic process and further strengthen our sporting value principles. Hence, one harmonious unit in line with global acceptance and best practices.
Gumel polled 21 votes ahead of Sani Ndanusa, who polled 19 votes. Away from Nigeria, the penultimate match of the FIFA World Cup pits Morocco against Croatia after both countries lost to France and hope to end their campaign at the tournament in Qatar by clinching a third-place finish at the Khalifa International Stadium. With sports updates, Ayodeji, Makinde, NTA News.